hallelujah, hallelujah. All praises to Yahweh. We want to take this opportunity to invite you, brothers and sisters, as we together learn the word of Yahweh. Remember, this is a journey through the scriptures where we will be reading the entire scriptures from the book of Genesis to Revelation in less than 40 days. And we are doing this using the Restoration Study Bible from the Yahweh Restoration Assembly. And also we are doing this from the Hallelujah Scriptures. I want to invite you. Today we will be doing the entire book of Deuteronomy. And Deuteronomy is the fifth book of the scripture. And the Hebrew name is known as Elleh Haddebharim, meaning these are the words. I'd like my brother to introduce himself so that we can start together.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. Another beautiful day. We are alive. We give thanks to Abba Yahweh, even for having another chance to continue in also reading the word of Yahweh for the far from the book of Genesis. Now we are in the book of Deuteronomy, or the fifth book. So we are going to start from chapter 1, and by Yahweh's grace until where we'll read to the glory and honor of to Abba Yahweh. So as we start, we ask you to be with us through the scriptures to the end of the book of Deuteronomy, to the glory and honor of Yahweh. Thank you. Once again, my name is Zachariah.
Hallelujah. My name is Brother Victor Kiiru. Please feel free to comment and tell us where you're watching us from. And we will really appreciate to see your comment, your share, your like. And remember, we are live on Facebook, on the Victor Kiiru's timeline, and also on Facebook, on the page of Messianic Davar Show. We are also on YouTube, Messianic Davar Show, and also on YouTube, Injili ya Milele ya Yahshua Messiah. Deuteronomy chapter 1. These are the words which Moses spoke unto the children of These are the words which Moses spoke unto all children on this side of Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Panaram, Tophel, and Laban, and Hazeroth, and Dizahab. These are 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea. And it came to pass in the 14th year, in the 11th month of the first day of the month, that Moses spoke unto the children of Israel according to all that Yahweh had given him in the commandment unto them. After he had slain Sihon the king of the Amorites, which dwell in Heshbon, and Og the king of Bashan, which dwell at Ashtaroth in Edrei. On this side Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare the law, saying, Yahweh our Elohim spoke unto us in Horeb, saying, You have dwelt long enough in this mount. Turn you and take your journey and go unto the mount of the Amorites, and unto all the places nigh there, unto in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanite, and unto Lebanon, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land, which Yahweh sware unto your fathers Abraham, Ishak, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them. And I spoke unto you at that time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. Yahweh your Elohim hath multiplied you, and behold, you are his. Yahweh your Elohim has multiplied you, and behold, you are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. Yahweh Elohim of your fathers make you 1,000 times so many more as you are, and bless you as he has promised you. How can I myself alone bear your cumbrance and your burden and your strife? Take you wise men and understanding and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. And you answered me and said, the thing which you have spoken is good for us to do. So I took the chief of your tribe, wise men and known, and made them heads over your captain, over 1,000, and captain over hundreds, and captain over 50, and captain over 10, and over officers among your tribe. And I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brothers, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. You shall not respect person in judgment, but you shall hear the small as well as the great. You shall not be afraid to face of the man, for the judgment is Elohim's. And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. And I commanded you at that time all the things which you should do. And when we departed from Horeb, we went through all the great and terrible wilderness, which you saw by the way of the mountain of the Amorites, as Yahweh our Elohim commanded us, and we came to Kadesh Barnea. And I said unto you, you are come unto the mountain of the Amorites, which Yahweh our Elohim doth give unto us. Behold, Yahweh your Elohim has set the land before you. Go and possess it, as Yahweh Elohim your father has said unto you. Fear not, neither be discouraged. And you came near unto me, one of you, and said, we will send men before us, and they shall search us out the land, and bring us word again by what way we must go up and into the city. We shall come. And the saying pleased me well, and I took 12 men of you, one of a tribe, and they turned and went into the mountain, and came unto the valley of Eshcol, and searched it out. And they took of the fruits of the land and in their hands, and brought it down unto us, and brought us word again, and said, it is a good land, which Yahweh our Elohim doth give us. Notwithstanding, you will not go up, but rebelled against the commandment of Yahweh your Elohim. And you murmured in your tents and said, because Yahweh hated us, he hath brought us forth out of the land of Egypt to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us. Whither shall we go up? Our brethren have discouraged our heart, saying, the people is greater and taller than we. The city are great and walled up to heaven. And moreover, we have seen the son of the Anakims there. Then I said unto you, dread not, neither be afraid of them. Yahweh your Elohim, which goeth before you, he shall fight for you, according to all that he did for you in Egypt before your eyes. And in the wilderness, where you have seen how that Yahweh your Elohim bare you, as a mother doth bear his son in all the way, that you went until you came into this place. Yet in these things you did not believe Yahweh your Elohim, who went in the way before you to search you out a place to pitch your tents in fire by night, to show you that by the way you should go, and cloud by day. And Yahweh heard the voice of your word, and was wroth and swear, saying, surely there shall not come one of these men of this evil generation see that good land, which I swear to give unto your father. Save Caleb of the son of Jephunneh, he shall see it, and him will I give the land that he hath trodden upon, and to his children, because he has wholly followed Yahweh. Also Yahweh was angry with me for your sake, saying, you shall not go in either. But Joshua the son of Nun, which stand before you, he shall go in there. Encourage him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit it. Moreover, your little ones, which you said should be a prey, and your children, which in that day had no knowledge between good and evil, they shall go in there, and unto them will I give it, and they shall possess. But as for you, turn you and take your journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And you answered and said unto me, we have sinned against Yahweh. We will go up and fight according to all that Yahweh Elohim commanded us. And when you had agreed on every man his weapon of war, you are ready to go up into the hill. And Yahweh said unto me, say unto them, go not up, neither fight, for I am not among you, lest you be smitten before your enemies. So I spoke unto you, and will not hear, but rebelled against the commandment of Yahweh, and went presumptuously up into the hill. And the Amorites which dwelt in the mountain came out against you, and chased you as beasts do, and destroyed you in Seir, even unto Hormah. And you returned and wept before Yahweh, but Yahweh will not hear your voice, nor give ear unto you. So you abode in Kadesh many days, according unto the days that you abode there. Deuteronomy chapter 2. Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as Yahweh spoke unto me. And we compassed about Seir many days. And Yahweh spoke unto me, saying, You have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn you northward, and command you the people, saying, You are to pass through the coast, as your brethren the children of Esau which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take you good heed unto yourself, therefore. Meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land. No, not as much as a foot breadth, because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession. You shall buy meat of them for money, that you may eat, and you shall also buy water for them for money, that you may drink. For Yahweh your Elohim has blessed you in all your works of your hands. He knows you are walking through this great wilderness. These 40 years Yahweh your Elohim has been with you. You have lacked nothing. And when we passed by from our brethren the children of Esau which dwelt in Seir, through the way of the plain of Elleh from Eziogabeng, we turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. And Yahweh said unto me, Distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in a battle, for I will not give you the land for the possession, because I have given Ar unto the children of Lot for a possession. The Emims dwelt therein in times past, a people great and many and tall as the Anakims, which also are accounted giants as the Anakims, but the Moabites called them Emims. The Horims also dwelt in Seir before time, but the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them and dwelt in their stead, as Israel did unto the land of their possession, which Yahweh gave them unto them. Now rise up, said I, and get you over the brook Zered. And we went over the brook Zered, and the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we were all the generation of men of war were wasted out from among the host, as Yahweh sware unto them. For indeed the hand of Yahweh was against them to destroy them from among the host until they were consumed. So it came to pass, when all the men of war were consumed and dead from among the people, that Yahweh spoke unto me, saying, You are to pass over through Ar the coast of Moab this day, and when you come near over against the children of Ammon, distress them not, nor meddle with them, for I will not give you of the land of the children of Ammon any possession, because I have given it unto the children of Lot for a possession. That also was accounted a land of giants. Giants dwelt there in old times. The Amorites call them Zamuzamuns, a great people, and many tall as the Anakims. But Yahweh destroyed them before them, and they succeeded them and dwelt in their stead, as he did to the children of Esau which dwelt in Seir, when he destroyed the Horims from before them, and they succeeded them and dwelt in their stead unto them unto this day. And the Avims which dwelt in Hazerim, even unto Aza, the Kathorims which came forth out of Kabfor, destroyed them and dwelt in their stead. Rise you up, take your journey, and pass over the river of Ammon. Behold, I have given into thy hand Sihon the Amorite king of Heshbon, and his land, begin to possess it and contend with him in battle. This day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of you and shall tremble and be anguished because of you. And I sent messengers out of the wilderness of Kedum unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, with words of peace, saying, Let me pass through your land. I will go along the highway. I will neither turn unto the right nor to the left. You shall sell me meat for money, that I may eat, and give me water for money, that I may drink. Only I will pass through on my feet. As the children of Esau which dwelt in Seir, and the Moabites which dwelt in Ar, did unto me, until I pass over Jordan into the land which Yahweh our Elohim given us. But Sihon king of Heshbon will not let us pass by him, for Yahweh your Elohim hardened his heart and made his heart obstinate, that he may deliver him into the hands as appeared this day. And Yahweh said unto me, Behold, I have begun to give Sihon and his land before you. Begin to possess, that you may inherit this land. Then Sihon came out against us, he and all his people, to fight at Jahaz. And Yahweh our Elohim delivered him before us, and we smote him and his son and all his people. And we took all his city at that time, and utterly destroyed the men and the women and the little ones of every city. We left none to remain. Only the cattle we took for a prey unto ourselves, and spoil of the city which we took. For Aroer, which is by the brink of the river of Arnon, and from the city that is by the river even to Gad Gilead, there was not one city too strong for us. Yahweh Elohim delivered all unto us. Only unto the land of the children of Ammon you came not, nor unto any place of the river of Jacob, nor unto the cities of the mountain, nor whatsoever Yahweh Elohim forbade us. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 3. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan, and Og the king of Bashan came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And Yahweh said unto me, Fear not, for I will deliver him and his people and his land into the hands, and you shall do unto him as you did unto Sihon king of Amorite, which dwelt at Heshbon. So Yahweh Elohim delivered into the hands of Og also the king of Bashan and all his people, and we smote him until none was left to him remaining. And we took all the city at that time. There was not a city which we took not from them. The Riscos city and all the region of Argob, the kingdom of Og in Bashan, and all this city were fenced with high walls, gates, and bars, beside unwalled towns a great many. And we utterly destroyed them, as we did unto Sihon king of Shebon, utterly destroying the men, women, and children of every city. But all the cattle and the spoil of the city we took a prey to ourselves, and we took at times out of the hand of the two kings of the Amorites the land that was on the side of Jordan, from the river of Arnon unto Heshbon, which Hammon the Sidonites called Siron, and the Amorites call it Shnia. All the city of the plain, and all Gilad, and all Bashan, unto Shalka and Edrei, cities of the kingdom of Og in Bashan. For only Og king of Bashan remained of the remnant of the giant. Behold, his bed seat was a bed seat of iron. It is not in Rabbath of the children of Ammon. 9 cubits was the length therefore, and 4 cubits the beams of it, after the cubit of a man. And this land which we possessed at that time from Aroer, which is by the river of Arnon, and half Mount Gilad, and the city therefore gave I unto the Reubenites and the Gadites. And for the rest of Gilead and all Bashan, being the kingdom of Og, gave I unto the half tribe of Manasseh, and all the region of Argob, with the Bashan which was called the land of giants. Jair the son of Manasseh took all the country of Argob unto the coast of Geshuri and Maachathi, and called them after their own name Bashan Foragi unto this day. And I gave Gilad unto Machir, and unto Reubenites, and unto the Gadites, and I gave from Gilad even to the river Arnon, half of the valley and the border, even unto the river Jabbok, which is the border of the children of Ammon. The plain also, and Jordan, and the coast therefore, from Chinnerith, even unto the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, under Ashdod, this bigger eastward. And I commanded you at that time, saying, Yahweh your Elohim has given you the land to possess it. You shall pass over armed before your brethren, the children of Israel, all that are met for the war. But for your wives and your little ones and your cattle, for I know that you have much cattle, shall abide in your city, which I have given unto you, until Yahweh has given rest unto your brothers, as well as unto you, and until they possess the land which Yahweh your Elohim has given them beyond Jordan, and you shall return every man unto his possession, which I have given you. And I commanded Joshua at that time, saying, your eyes have seen all that Yahweh your Elohim has done unto the two kings, so shall Yahweh do unto all the kingdoms where you pass. You shall not fear them, for Yahweh your Elohim, he shall fight for you. And I besought Yahweh at that time, saying, O my sovereign Yahweh, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your mighty hand. For what else is there in heaven or in earth that can do according to your works and according to your mighty? I pray you, let me go over and see the good land that is beyond Jordan, and go goodly mountain and Lebanon. But Yahweh was wroth with me for your sake, and will not hear me. And Yahweh said unto me, let it surface you. Speak no more unto me of this matter. Get you up into the top of Pisgah, and lift thy eyes westward and northwards and southwards and eastward. And behold, it is your eyes, for you shall not go over this Jordan. But charge Joshua and encourage him, and strengthen him, for he shall go over before this people, and he shall cause them to inherit the land which you shall see. So we are born in the valley over the Peor, and so we are born in the valley against Beth Peor.
Deuteronomy chapter number 4. And now, O Israel, listen to the law and the right rulings which I am teaching you to do, so that you live and shall go in and possess the land which Yahweh, Elohim of your fathers, is giving you. Do not add to the word which I command you, or do not take away from it, so as to guard the commands of Yahweh, your Elohim, which I am commanding you. You have seen what Yahweh did to Baal Peor, for Yahweh your Elohim has destroyed from your midst all the men who followed Baal Peor. But you who are clinging to Yahweh your Elohim are alive today, every one of you. See, I have taught you the laws and right rulings, as Yahweh my Elohim commanded me to do thus, in the land which you go to possess, and you shall guard and do them, for which is your wisdom and your understanding before the eyes of the people who hear all these laws. And they shall say, only a wise and understanding people in this is this great nation. For what great nation is there which has Elohim so near to it, as Yahweh our Elohim is to us whenever we call on him? And what great nation is there that has such laws and right ruling and righteous right ruling like all this Torah which I put before you this day? Only guard yourselves and guard your life diligently, lest you forget the words of your eyes have seen, and lest you turn aside from your heart all the days of your life. And you shall make them known to your children and your grandchildren. The day when you stood before Yahweh your Elohim in Horeb, Yahweh said to me, assemble the people to me, and I make them hear my words, so that they learn to revere me all the days they live on the earth, and teach their children. And you came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire to the heart of the Shemaim, darkened and dense cloud. And I spoke to you out of the midst of the fire, and you heard a voice of word, but so firm you only heard a voice. And he made known to you his covenant, and Yahweh spoke to you on the midst of the fire. You heard a voice of words, but so firm you only heard a voice. And he made known to you his covenant which he commanded you to do, the 10 words, and he wrote them on the 2 tablets of stones. And Yahweh commanded me at the time to teach you laws and right rulings for you to do them in the land which you pass over to possess. Therefore, diligently guard yourselves, for you saw no form when Yahweh spoke to you at Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you should do corruptly and shall make for yourselves a carved image in the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, or likeness of any winged bird that flies on the Shemaim, the likeness of any creature that creeps on the ground, or the likeness of any fish that is in the waters under the earth, unless you lift up your eyes to the Shemaim, and shall see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the host of the Shemaim, and you shall be drawn away into bowing down into them and serving them, which Yahweh your Elohim has allotted you to all the peoples under all the Shemaim. But Yahweh has taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace and out of Mizraim to be his people, an inheritance as it is today. And Yahweh spoke, and Yahweh was enraged with me because of the words of your words, and so that I would not pass over the Jordan, and that I would not enter the good land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you as an inheritance. For I am to die in this land. I am not passing over the Jordan, but you are passing over and shall possess that good land. Guard yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, which he made with you, and shall make for yourselves a carved image in any likeness Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you. For Yahweh your Elohim is a consuming fire, a jealous air. When you bring forth children and grandchildren, and you shall grow old in the land, and shall do corruptly and make a carved image in any likeness, and shall do what is evil in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim to provoke him, I shall call the Shemaim and the earth to witness against you on that day, that you soon completely perish from the land which you possess over the Jordan to possess. You do not prolong your days by it in it, but are completely destroyed. And I shall scatter you among the peoples, and you shall be left few in numbers among the Gentiles, where Yahweh drives you. And there you shall serve mighty ones, they are work of men's hand, wood and stones, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But for there you shall seek Yahweh your Elohim, and shall find. When you search for him with all your heart, and with all your being, and your distress, while all these words shall come upon you in the latter days, then you shall return to Yahweh your Elohim, and shall obey his voice. For Yahweh your Elohim is a compassionate El. He does not forsake you, or destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers which he swore to them. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before you, since the day Elohim created man on earth, and ask for one end of the Shemaim to the end of the Shemaim, whether there has been a word as great as this, or has been heard like it. Has a people heard the voice of Elohim speaking out of the midst of the fire, as you have heard, and live? Or has Elohim tried to go and take for himself a nation from the midst of a nation by trials, or by signs, or by wonders, or by battles, or by a strong hand and an outstretched arm, and by great fearsome deeds, according to all that Yahweh Elohim did you in Mitzrayim before your eyes? You have been shown it to know that Yahweh himself is Elohim. There is no need beside him. For the Shemaim, he let you hear his voice to instruct you on earth. He showed you his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seeds after them, and he brought you out of Mitzrayim with his presence, with his great power, to drive out from the people from you, to drive out from before you nations greater and stronger than you, and to bring you in to give you their lands as your inheritance, as it is today. And you shall know today that shall recall to your heart that Yahweh himself is Elohim in the Shemaim above, on the earth beneath, there in none else is none else. And you shall guard his laws and his commands, which I command you today, so that it is well with you and with your children after you, and so that you prolong your days on the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you for all time. Then Moshe separated the cities beyond the Jordan toward the rising of the sun. For him who killed someone to flee there, he who kills his neighbor unintentionally without having hated him in time past, and might flee to one of these cities and live. Bethsa is the wilderness in the level land for the Reubenites, and Ramoth in Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan for the Manassites. And this is the Torah which Moshe put before the children of Israel. These are the witness and the laws and the right rulings which Moshe spoke to the children of Israel after they came out of Mitzrayim. Beyond the Jordan, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, is the land of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt in at Heshbon, whom Moshe and the children of Israel had smitten after they came out of Mitzrayim. And they took possession of his land, and the land of Og, sovereign of Bashan. Two sovereigns of the Amorites were beyond the Jordan, who were beyond the Jordan, toward the rising of the sun, from Aror, which is on the bank of the Wadi Arnon, even to Mount Sion, which is in Hermon, and all desert plain beyond the Jordan, as far as the sea of Arab below the slopes of Pisgah. Deuteronomy chapter number 5. And Moshe called all Israel and said to them, Hear, O Israel, the laws and the right rulings which I speak in your hearing today, and you shall learn them and guard to them. And Yahweh our Elohim made a covenant with us in Horeb. Yahweh did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, those who are here today, all of us who are alive. Yahweh spoke with you face to face on the mountain from the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahweh and you at that time to declare to you the word of Yahweh, for you were afraid because of the fire, and you did not go up the mountain, saying, I am Yahweh your Elohim, who brought out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage. You have no other mighty one against my face. You do not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness of which is in the Shemaim above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the water under the earth. You do not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I am Yahweh your Elohim, I am a jealous El, visiting the wickedness of the fathers upon the children to the third and to the fourth generation of those who hate me, but show kindness to thousands to those who love me and guard my commands. And you do not bring the name of Yahweh your Elohim to naught, for Yahweh does not leave him unpunished who brings his name to naught. Guard the Shabbat day to kadosh it, and Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you. 6 days you labor, and you shall do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath to Yahweh your Elohim. You do not do any work, you nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your ox, nor your donkey, nor any of your cattle, nor your strangers who is within your gates, nor so that your male servant and your female servant rest as you do. You shall remember that you were slave in the land of Mizraim, and that Yahweh your Elohim brought out from there by a strong hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore Yahweh your Elohim commanded to perform the Shabbat day, respect your father and your mother, and Yahweh as your Elohim has commanded you, so that your days are prolonged, and so that it is well with you on the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. You do not murder, you do not commit adultery, you do not steal, you do not bear a false witness against your neighbors, you do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor do you desire your neighbor's house, his field, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, his ox, nor his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. These words Yahweh spoke to you, to all your assembly in the mountain from the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the dense cloud with a loud voice. And he added no more, and he wrote them on the 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me. And it came to be when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness, while the mountain was burning with fire, that you came near to me, and all the heads of your tribe and your elders. And he said, See, Yahweh our Elohim has shown us his esteem and his greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. Today we have seen that Elohim speaks with a man, and he lives. And now why should we die? For this great fire is consuming us. If we hear the voice of Yahweh our Elohim anymore, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh who have heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking from the midst of the fire, as we have and lived? You go near and hear all that Yahweh our Elohim says, and speak to us all that Yahweh our Elohim seems to you, and we shall hear and do it. And Yahweh heard the voice of your words when you spoke to me, and Yahweh said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of these people which they spoke to you. They have done well in all that they have spoken. or that they have had such a heart in them to revere me and to guard all my commands always, so that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go say to them, return to your tents. But you stand here by me, and let me speak to you all the commands and the laws and the right rulings which you are to teach them, and they shall do them in the land which I am giving them to possess. And you shall guard to do as Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you. Do not turn aside to the right or to the left. Walk in all the ways which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, so that you live on it so that you live and it be well with you, and you shall prolong your days in the land which Yahweh possesses. Deuteronomy chapter number 6. And this is the command, the laws and the right rulings which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded to teach you to do in the land which you are passing over to possess, so that you revere Yahweh your Elohim, to guard all his laws and his commands which I command you, you and your sons and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days be prolonged. You shall hear, O Israel, and you shall guard to you to do that it may be well with you, and that you increase in greatly, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has spoken to you, a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh your Elohim, Yahweh is one, and you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in the house, and when you walk by the way, and you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be a frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorpost of your house and on the gates. And it shall be, when Yahweh your Elohim brings you into the land of which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob, to give you great and good cities which you did not build, and houses filled with all kind of goods which you did not fill, and well done which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Be on guard, lest you forget Yahweh, whom brought you out of the land of Mizraim from the house of bondage. Revere Yahweh your Elohim, and serve him, and swear by his name. Do not go after the other mighty ones and the mighty ones of the people who are around you. For Yahweh your Elohim is a jealous El, is in your midst, lest the displeasure of Yahweh your Elohim burn against you, and then he shall destroy you from the face of the earth. Do not try Yahweh your Elohim as you tried him in Massa. Diligently guard the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, and his witness and his laws which he commands you, and you shall do what is right and good in the eyes of Yahweh, that it might be well with you. And you shall go in and possess the good land of which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to drive out all your enemies from before you, and as Yahweh has spoken. When your sons ask you in times to come, saying, what is the meaning of the witnesses and the laws and the right rulings which Yahweh our Elohim has commanded you, then you shall say to your sons, we were slaves to Pharaoh in Mizraim, and Yahweh brought us out of Mizraim with a strong hand, and Yahweh sent signs and wonders great and grievous upon Mizraim, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from there to bring us in, to give us the land of which he swore to our fathers. And Yahweh commanded us to do all these laws, to revere Yahweh our Elohim for our good always, to keep us alive as it is today. And it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all these commands before Yahweh our Elohim, as he has commanded us.
book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 7. When Yahweh your Elohim shall bring you in the land whither you go to possess it, and has cast out many nations before you, the Hittites, the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hevites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yahweh your Elohim shall deliver them before you, you shall smite them and utterly destroy them. You shall make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shall you make marriages with them. Thy daughter shall not give unto his son, nor his daughter shall you take unto his son. For they will turn away your son from following me, that they may serve other mighty ones. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you, and before you, and destroy you suddenly. But you shall deal with them. You shall destroy their altars and break down their images, and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. For you art an holy people unto Yahweh your Elohim. Yahweh your Elohim has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you are more in number than any people, for you are the fewest of all the people. But Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your father, which Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh the king of Egypt. Know therefore that Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim, the faithful El, which keep covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandment to 1,000 generations, and repays them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hated him, he will repay him to his face. You shall therefore keep the commandment and the statute of the judgment which I command you this day to do them. Therefore it shall come to pass, if you hear to this judgment, and keep and do them, that Yahweh your Elohim shall keep unto you the covenant and the mercy which he has swear unto your fathers. And he will love you and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your land, your corn and your wine and your oil, the increase of your kind, and your flocks and your sheep in the land which he sware unto your fathers to give you. You shall be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or among your cattle. And Yahweh will take away from you all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which you know, upon you, but will lay them upon all them that hate you. And you shall consume all the people which Yahweh your Elohim shall deliver you. Your eyes shall have no pity upon them, neither shall you serve their mighty ones, for that will be a snare unto you. If you shall say in your heart, this nation are more than I, how can I dispose them? You shall not be afraid of them, but shall well remember that Yahweh your Elohim did unto Pharaoh and all Egypt the great temptation which your eyes saw, and the sign and the wonders and the mighty hands, and the stretched out arm whereby Yahweh your Elohim brought you out. So shall Yahweh your Elohim do unto all the people of whom you art afraid. Moreover, Yahweh Elohim will send the hornet among them, until they that are left and hide themselves from you to be destroyed. You shall not be affrighted at them, for Yahweh your Elohim is among you, a mighty El and a terrible. And Yahweh terrible. And Yahweh your Elohim will put out those nations before you, by little and little. You may not consume them at once, lest all beasts of the field increase upon you. But Yahweh Elohim, your Elohim, shall deliver them unto you, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into your hand, and you shall destroy their names from under the heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before you until you have destroyed them. The graven image of their mighty ones shall you burn with fire, and you shall not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto you, lest you be snared therein, for it is an abomination to Yahweh your Elohim. Neither shall you bring an abomination into thy house, lest you be casting like it, but you shall utterly detest it, and you shall utterly abhor it, for it is a cast thing. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8. All the commandments which I command you this day, you shall observe to do, that you may live and multiply, and go and possess the land which Yahweh swear unto your fathers. And you shall remember all the way which Yahweh your Elohim led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble you and to prove you, to know what was in thy hand, whether you would keep his commandments or not. And he humbled you, and he suffered you to hunger, and fed you with manna, which you know not, neither did your father know, that he might make you know that Yahweh does not leave by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh doth man live. Your raiment wax not old upon you, neither did your feet swell these 40 years. You shall also consider in your heart that as a man chastened his son, so Yahweh your Elohim chastened you. Therefore you shall keep the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in his ways and to fear him. For Yahweh your Elohim bring you into a good land, a land of brook of water, of fountain and depths that spring up of valley and hills, a land of wheat and barley, and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil and olive, a land of all olive and honey, a land wherein you shall eat bread without scarceness. You shall not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and of the whose hills you may dig brass. When you have eaten and art full, you shall bless Yahweh your Elohim for the good land which has given you. Be aware that you forget not Yahweh your Elohim in keeping his commandment and his judgment and his statutes, which I command you this day. Lest when you have eaten and are full, has built goodly houses and dwell therein, and when they are hard, you are hard, and your flock multiply, and your silver and your gold is multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied, then your heart be lifted up and forget Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led you through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpion and drought, then where there was no water, who brought you forth water out of the rock of flint, who fled you in the wilderness with manna, which your father knew not, that he may humble you, and that he might prove to you to do good at your latter end. And you shall say in your heart, my power and my might of mine hand have gotten me this wealth. But you shall remember Yahweh your Elohim, for it is he that gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he sware unto your father, as it is this day. And it shall be, if you do all forget, and it shall be, if thou do at all forget Yahweh your Elohim, and walk after other mighty ones, and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day, that you shall surely perish. And the nation which Yahweh destroyeth before your face, so shall you perish, because you will not be obedient unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 9. Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over Jordan this day, to get into possession nation greater and mightier than yourself, city great and fenced up to heaven, a people great and tall, the children of the Anakims, who you know, and of whom you have heard say, what can stand before the children of Anak? Understand therefore to this day that Yahweh Elohim is he which go over before you as a consuming fire. He shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before your face. So shall you drive them out and destroy them quickly, as Yahweh has said unto thee. Speak not thou in thy hand, after that Yahweh your Elohim has cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness Yahweh has brought me in to possess this land. But for the wickedness of this nation Yahweh drove them out from before you. Not for your righteousness or for your uprightness of thy hand does you go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of this nation Yahweh your Elohim drove them out from before you, and that he may perform the word which Yahweh sware unto our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand therefore that Yahweh your Elohim gives you not this good land to possess it for your righteousness, for you art a stiff-necked people. Remember and forget not how thou provoked Yahweh your Elohim to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that you did depart out of the land of Egypt, until you came into the place where you have been rebellious against Yahweh. Also in Horeb you provoked Yahweh to wrath, so that Yahweh was angry with you and destroyed you. When I was gone up into the mount to receive the tablets of stone, even the tablets of the covenant which Yahweh made with you, then I abode in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. And Yahweh delivered unto me 2 tablets of stone, written with the finger of Elohim, and on them was written according to all the words which Yahweh spoke with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And it came to pass at the end of the 40 days and the 40 nights that Yahweh gave me the 2 tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant, which Yahweh said unto me, arise, get thee down quickly from hence, for the people which has brought forth out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They are quickly turning aside out of the way which I commanded them. they have made them a molten image. Furthermore, Yahweh spoke unto me, saying, I have seen these people, and behold, is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven, and I will make of you a nation mightier and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant which were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and behold, you had sinned against Yahweh your Elohim, and made you a molten calf. You had turned aside quickly out of the way which Yahweh had commanded you. And I took the 2 tablets and cast them out of my hands and break them before your eyes. And I fell down before Yahweh, as at first 40 days and 40 nights I did neither eat bread nor drink water, because of all the sins which you had seen in doing wickedly in the sight of Yahweh, to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure wherein Yahweh was wroth against you, to destroy you. But Yahweh hearkened unto me at that time also, and Yahweh was very angry with Aaron to have destroyed him. And I prayed for Aaron also the same time. And I took your sins, the calf which you had made, and burned it with fire, and stamped it, and ground it with very small, until it was as small as dust. And I cast the dust therefore into a brook that descended out of the mount. And at Taberah, and at Massa, and at Kibroth Tava, you provoked Yahweh to wrath. Likewise, when Yahweh sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, go up and possess the land which I have given you, then you rebelled against the commandment of Yahweh your Elohim, and you believed him not, nor hearkened to his voice. You have been rebellious against Yahweh from the day that I knew you. Thus I have fell down before Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. I fell down at the first, because Yahweh had said he will destroy you. I prayed therefore unto Yahweh and said, O sovereign Yahweh, destroy not thy people and thy inheritance. You have redeemed through thy greatness, which you have brought forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember your servant Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Look not unto the stubbornness of these people, nor for their wickedness, nor their sin. Lest the hand whence you brought us out say, because Yahweh was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he hath brought them out to slay them in the wilderness. Yet they are the people and my inheritance, which I have brought out by their mighty power and by a stretched out arm.
Deuteronomy chapter number 10. At that time Yahweh said to me, hew for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and you shall make yourselves an ark of wood. Then I write on the tablets the words of the that were on the first tablets, which you spoke, which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. So I made an ark of acacia wood, hewed 2 tablets and stone like the first, and went up to the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hand. And he wrote on the tablets according to the first writings the 10 words, and which Yahweh had spoken to you in the mountain of which from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. The Yahweh gave them to me, and I turned and came down from the mountain and put the tablets in the ark which I made, which I had made, and they are there. And Yahweh commanded me, now the children of Israel departed from Well to Bene Yaga to Mosera. Aaron died there, and he was buried there, and Eleazar his son became Kohen in his place. From there they departed from Gudgoda, and from Gudgoda to Yotbathar, a land of river of water. At that time Yahweh separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, to stand before Yahweh, to serve him, and to barak in his name to this day. Therefore Levi has no portion nor inheritance with his brothers. Yahweh is his inheritance, as Yahweh your Elohim promised him. I stayed in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, and Yahweh had me at the times also, and Yahweh chose not to destroy you. And I said to me, arise, go therefore go before the people, and to depart, and let them go in and possess the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. And now Israel, what is Yahweh your Elohim asking of you, but to revere Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to love him, and to serve Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being, to guard the commands of Yahweh and his laws, which I command you today for your good. See, the Shemaim and the Shemaim of the Shemaim belongs to Yahweh your Elohim, also the earth with all that is in it. Yahweh delights only in your fathers to love them, and he chose their seeds after them, you above all peoples as it is today. And you shall circumcise the foreskin of your heart and harden your neck no more. For Yahweh your Elohim is Elohim of mighty ones and of masters, the great El, mighty one, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality nor takes a bribe. He executes right ruling for the fatherless and the widow, and loves the stranger, giving him food and a garment. And you shall love the strangers, for you are strangers in the land of Mizraim. Revere Yahweh your Elohim, serve him, and cling to him, and swear by his name. For he is your praise, and he is your Elohim, and who has done for you these great and awesome deeds which your eyes have seen. Your fathers went down to Mizraim with 70 beings, and now Yahweh your Elohim has made you numerous as stars of Shemaim. Deuteronomy chapter number 11. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim and guard his charge and even his laws and his right rulings and his commands always. And you shall know that today, for it is not your children who have not known and who have not seen the discipline of Yahweh your Elohim, his greatness, his strong hand, and his outstretched arm, and his sign, and his work which he had done in the midst of Mizraim to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, and to all his land, and that which he had done to the army of Mizraim, to their horses and their chariots, which he made the waters of the sea of reeds overflow them, and they persuaded you, and how Yahweh has destroyed them to these days, and what he had done for you in the wilderness till you came to this place, and what he has done to Dathan and Abiram the son of Eliab, son of Reuben, when the earth opened in its mouth and swallowed them up, and their household, and their tents, and all their living creatures that were in their possession in the midst of all Israel. For yours are the eyes that saw all the great work of Yahweh which he did. And you shall guard every command which I command you today, so that you are strong, and shall go in, and shall possess the land which you are passing over to possess, and to prolong your days in the land which Yahweh swore to give you your fathers, to them and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land which you are going in to possess is not like the land of Mizraim, from which you have come, from where you sowed your seed and watered it by foot as a vegetable garden. But the land which you are passing over to possess is the land of hills and valleys, which drinks water from the rain of the Shemaim, a land which Yahweh your Elohim looks after. The eyes of Yahweh your Elohim are always on it, from the beginning of your years to the later end of the years. And it shall be that if you diligently obey my commands, which I command you today, to love Yahweh your Elohim and to serve him with all your heart and with all your being, and if then I shall give you the rain for your land in its season. New wine and your oil, and I shall give grass in your fields for your livestock, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Guard yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, and you turn aside and serve other mighty ones, and bow down to them. And the displeasure of Yahweh shall turn against you, he shall rain, and the land not give it increase, and you and you shall lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your being, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be a frontlets between your eyes, and you shall teach them to your children, speaking to them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall write them on the doorsteps and the doorpost of your house and on your gates, so that your days are and the days of your children are increased in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers to give them, as the days of the Shemaim on the earth. For if you diligently guard all these commands, which I command you to do it, to love Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to cling to him, then Yahweh shall drive out all these nations before you, and you shall dispossess greater and stronger nations than you. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads is yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river and the river Perat, even to the western sea in your border. No man shall stand against you. Yahweh your Elohim shall put the dread of you and the fear of you upon all the lands where you tread, as he has spoken to you. See, I am putting before you today a barakah and a curse. The barakah, when you obey the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you today. And the curse, if you do not obey the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, but turn aside from the way which I command you today, to go after the other mighty ones which you have not known. And it shall be known, when Yahweh your Elohim has brought you into the land which you go to possess, that you shall put the barakah on Mount Gerizim and the curse on Mount Ebal, and they are not beyond the Jordan, following the way of the sun westward, in the land of Canaanites who dwell in the desert plain opposite Gilgal, beside the terebinth trees of the Moreh. For you are passing over to Jordan to go to possess the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it, and shall guard to do all the laws and right rulings which I am putting before you today. Deuteronomy chapter number 12. These are the laws and the right rulings which you guard to do in the land which Yahweh Elohim of your father is giving you to possess all the days that you live on the land, completely destroying all the places where the nations which you are dispossessing served their mighty ones, on the high mountains and on the hills, under every green thing. And you shall break down their altars and destroy their pillars and burn their asherim and with fire. And you shall cut down the carved images of the mighty ones, and shall destroy their name out of that place. Do not do so to Yahweh your Elohim, but seek the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses out of all your tribes, to put his name there for his dwelling place, and there you shall enter. And there you shall take your burnt offerings and your offerings and your tithes and the contribution of your hand, and your vowed offering and your voluntary offerings and the feastlings of your herd and of your flock. And there you shall eat before Yahweh your Elohim, and shall rejoice in all that you put hand to, and you and your household in which Yahweh your Elohim has baraked you. Do not do all that we do here today, each one whatever is right in his own eyes, because you have not yet entered the rest and the inheritance which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. But you shall possess over the Jordan, and they shall dwell in the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you to inherit, and he shall give you rest from all your enemies round about, and you shall dwell in safety. And it shall be that unto the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses to make his name or dwell there you are to bring all that I command you, your burnt offering and your offerings and your tithes and your contribution of your hands and all your choicest offering which you vow to Yahweh and you shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim, and you and your sons and your daughters, and your male servants and your female servants, and the Levites who is within your great gates, since he has no portion nor inheritance with him. Guard yourselves that you do not offer your burnt offering in every place that you see, except in the place which Yahweh possesses, Yahweh chooses in one of your tribes. There you are to offer your burnt offering, and there you are to do all that I command you. Only whatever your being desires, you will slaughter and eat, according to the barakah of Yahweh your Elohim, which he has given you within all your gates. The unclean and the clean do not, the unclean and the clean do eat of it, of the gazelle and of the deer alike. Only the blood you do not eat, pour it on the earth like water. You are not allowed to eat with your gates the tithe of your grain, or of your new wine, or of your oil, or of the firstlings of your herd, or of your flock, or of your offering which you vow, or of your voluntary offering, or of the contribution of your hand. But eat them before Yahweh your Elohim, the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses, you and your son and your daughters, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim in all that you put your hand to. Guard yourself that you do not forsake the Levites as long as you live in your land. When Yahweh your Elohim enlarges your borders as he has promised you, and you say, let me eat meat, because you long to eat meat, you eat as much meat as your being desires. When the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses to put his name is too far from you, then you shall slaughter from your herd and from your flock which Yahweh has given you, as I have commanded you, and you shall eat within your gates as much as your being desires. Only as the gazelle and as the deer are eaten, you are to eat of it. The unclean and the clean alike eat of it. Only be firm not to eat the blood, for the blood is the life. Do not eat of the life with the meat. Do not eat it. Do not eat it. You pour it on the earth like water. Do not eat it, that it might be well with you and your children after you, when you do what is right in the eyes of Yahweh. Only the Kodesh gifts which you have, and you vowed offering, and you are to take up and go to the place which Yahweh chooses. And you shall make you burnt offering at the meat of the blood, and the meat and the blood, and on the altar of Yahweh your Elohim. And the blood of your offering is poured out of the altar of Yahweh your Elohim, and you eat of the meat. Guard and obey all these words which I command you, that it might be well with you and your children after you forever, when you do what is good and right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim. When Yahweh your Elohim cuts off from before you the nation which you go to dispossess, and you dispossess them and dwell in their land, guard yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed from before you, and that you do not inquire about their mighty ones, saying, how did this nation serve their mighty ones, and let me do so too. Do not do to Yahweh your Elohim for every abomination which Yahweh hates they have done to their mighty ones, for they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire for their mighty ones. All the words I am commanding you, guard to do it. Do not add it nor take away from it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13. Deuteronomy, chapter 13. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign of the wonder come to pass, wherefore he spake unto you, saying, let us go after other mighty ones, which you have not known, and let us serve them, you shall not hear unto the words of that prophet or that dream of dreams. For Yahweh your Elohim proves you to know whether you love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after Yahweh your Elohim and fear him and keep his commandment and obey his voice. You shall serve him and cleave unto him, and the prophet or the dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which Yahweh your Elohim commanded you to walk in. So shall you put evil away from the ministry of you. If the brother of your son, of the mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is thy own soul, entice thee secret, saying, let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known, you nor your father, namely of the mighty ones of the people which are around you, you near unto you, or far from you, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. You shall not consent unto him, nor hear unto him. Neither shall your eyes pity him, neither shall you spare, neither shall you conceal him. But you shall surely kill him with your hand, shall be the first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with stone that he die, because he has sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And all the Israelites shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. If you shall hear say in one of your cities, which Yahweh Elohim has given you to dwell there, saying, certain men of the children of Belial are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of the city, saying, let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known. Then you shall inquire and make search and ask diligently. And behold, if it be truth and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought among you, you shall surely smite the inhabitants of the city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle therefore at the edge of the sword. And you shall gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and you shall burn with fire the city, and all the spoil therefore every wheat for Yahweh your Elohim, and it shall be a heap forever, and it shall not be built again. And there shall cleave not of the costing to thy hand, that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show them mercy, and have compassion upon you, and multiply you as he has sworn unto your fathers. When you shall hearken to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to keep all the commandments which I command you to this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim. Deuteronomy chapter 14. Ye are the children of Yahweh your Elohim. You shall not cut yourself, nor make any bloodness between your eyes for the dead. You art a holy people unto Yahweh your Elohim. And Yahweh has chosen you to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth. You shall not eat any abominable thing. They are beasts which you shall eat, the ox and the sheep and the goat, the hart and the roe's back and the flavered deer and the wild goat and the perigam and the wild ox and the chameos. And every beast that parts the hoofs and cleaves the cliff into two cloths, and chews the cud among the beasts you shall eat. Nevertheless, you shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel and the hare, and the coney and the coney, for they chew the cud but divide not the hoof, therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it is divides his hoof, yet chews not the cud, is unclean unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. You shall eat of all that are in the waters, and all that have fins and scale you shall eat, and whosoever hath not fins and scale, you have not eat, it is unclean unto you. Of all the clean birds you shall eat, but these are they of which you shall not eat: the eagle, and the ossifrage, and the osprey, and the gledge, and the kite, and the vulture after its kind, and every raven after its kind, and the owl, and the night hawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after its kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the lopewing, and the bat. And every creeping thing that is filth is unclean unto you. You shall not be eaten, but of the clean fowls you shall eat. You shall not eat of the things that die of itself. You shall give it unto the stranger that is in the gate, that he may eat it. Or you may sell it unto an alien. For art unholy people unto Yahweh your Elohim. You shall not see the kid in his mother's milk. You shall truly tithe of all the increase of the seed in the field, bring forth year by year. And you shall eat therefore before Yahweh your Elohim in the place which is chose to place his name there. The tithe of the corn, the wine, the oil, and the firstlings of the herds and the flock. You may learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim always. And if the way be too long for you, so that you are not able to carry it, or place it be too far for you, which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to set his name there, where Yahweh your Elohim has blessed thee, you shall turn it into money. Then shall you turn it into money, and bind up the money in thy hand, and you shall go unto the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose, and you shall bestow that money for whatsoever yourself lust after, for oxen, sheep, wine, for strong drink, or whatsoever yourself desire. And you shall eat there before Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall rejoice, you and your household. And the Levite that is within your gates, you shall not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with you. At the end of the 3 years you shall bring all the tithes of the increase. The same year you shall lay it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no part nor inheritance with you, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow which are within your gate shall come, and you shall eat and be satisfied, that Yahweh Elohim may bless you in all your works of your hands which you do. Deuteronomy chapter 15. At the end of every 7 years you shall make a release, and this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that leads out unto his neighbor shall delete this. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called Yahweh's release. Of a foreigner you may exact it again, but that which is yours with your brother your hand shall release, save when there shall be no more poor among you, for Yahweh shall greatly bless you in land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you for an inheritance to possess it. Only if you carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe to do all these commandments which I commanded you this day, for Yahweh your Elohim blesses thee, and he has promised you, and he shall lend unto many nations, but you shall not borrow, and you shall reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over you. If there be among you a poor of one of the presidents within any of the gates in the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives thee, you shall not harden thy heart, nor shut your hand for thy poor brother, but you shall open your hand wide unto him, and shall surely lead him sufficient for his need in that which he wanted. Be aware that there be not a thought in your wickedness heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release is at hand, and thy eyes be evil against your poor brother, and you give him not, and he cry unto Yahweh against you, and it be a sin unto you. You shall surely give him, and thy heart shall not be grieved when you give unto him, because that for this thing Yahweh your Elohim shall bless you in all your works, and that you may put your hand unto him. For the poor shall never cease out of the land, therefore I command you, saying, you shall open your hand wide unto your brother, to the poor and to the needy in the land. And if your brother, an Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto you and serve you 6 years, then in the 7th year you shall let him go free from you. And when you send him out free from you, you shall not let him go away empty. You shall furnish him liberally out of the flock and out of the flour, and out of the winepress of that wherewith Yahweh your Elohim has blessed you, you shall give unto him. And you shall remember that you were once a bondman in the land of Egypt, and Yahweh your Elohim redeemed you. Therefore I command you this thing today, and it shall be, if he says unto you, I will not go away from you, because he loves you and thy house, because he is well with you, then you shall take an awl and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maidservant, that you shall do likewise. It shall not seem hard unto you when you send him away free from you, for he hath been worth a double hired servant to you, in serving you 6 years, and Yahweh Elohim shall bless you in all that you do. All the firstling males that come from your herd of the flock you shall sanctify unto Yahweh your Elohim. You shall do no work with the firstling of your bullock, nor shear the firstling of the sheep. You shall eat it before Yahweh your Elohim year by year in the place which Yahweh shall choose, you and your household. And if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame nor blind, or have any ill blemish, you shall not sacrifice it unto Yahweh your Elohim. You shall eat it within your gates. The unclean the clean person shall eat it alike, and as the rootback and the heart. Only you shall not eat the blood, therefore you shall pour it upon the ground of the water, ground as water. Deuteronomy chapter 16.
Verses 1 it says, guard the mouth of Abib and perform the Pesach to Yahweh your Elohim, for in the month of Abib Yahweh your Elohim brought out of the Mizraim by night, and shall slaughter the Pesach of Yahweh your Elohim from the flock of the herd in the place where Yahweh chooses to put his name, and not put his name. Eat not leavened bread with it. For 7 days you eat unleavened bread with it, and bread of affliction, because you came out of the land of Mizraim in haste, so that you remember the day in which you came out of the land of Mizraim all the days of your life. And no leaven should be seen with you in all your borders for 7 days. Neither should the meat which you slaughter in the evening on the first day stay still all night until morning. You are not allowed to slaughter the Pesach with any of your gates which Yahweh your Elohim gives you, but at the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell. There you slaughter the Pesach in the evening at the going down of the sun. At the appointed time you came out of Mizraim, and you shall roast and eat it in the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses. And in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. 6 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there is a closing festival to Yahweh your Elohim. You do no work. Count 6 weeks for yourself. Begin to count 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the grain. And you shall perform the festival of Shavuot to Yahweh your Elohim, according to the voluntary offering from your hand, which give as Yahweh your Elohim barak you. And you shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim, and you and your son and your daughters, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow who is in your midst, at the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell. And you shall remember that you are slave in Mizraim, and you shall guard and do these laws. Perform the festival of Sukkot for 7 days, and after the ingathering from your threshing floor and from your wine press. And you shall rejoice in your festival, and you and your sons and your daughter, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow who are within your gates. For 7 days you shall celebrate the feast as the festival to Yahweh your Elohim in the place which Yahweh chooses, because Yahweh your Elohim barak in you in all your increase, and in all your work of your hands, and you shall be only rejoicing. 3 times a year all your males appears before Yahweh your Elohim in the place which he chooses, at the festival of Matzot, and at the festival of Shavuot, and at the festival of Sukkot, and none should appear before Yahweh empty-handed, each one with the gift of his hand, according to the barakah of Yahweh your Elohim, which he has given you. Appoint judges and officers within all your gates, which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous right ruling. Do not distort right ruling. Do not show partiality, nor take a bribe. For a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise, and twists the word of the righteous. Follow righteousness, so that you live and inherit the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. Do not plant for yourselves any tree as an Asherah near the altar of Yahweh your Elohim that you make for yourselves, and do not put up a pillar which Yahweh your Elohim hates. Deuteronomy chapter number 17. Do not slaughter to Yahweh your Elohim a bull or a sheep which has any blemish on any evil matter, for that is an abomination to Yahweh your Elohim, which when there is found in your midst, in any of your cities which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, a man or a woman who does not who does what is evil in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served the other mighty ones and bowed down to them, or to the sun, or to the moon, or to any host of the Shemaim, which I have not commanded, and it has been made known to you, and you have heard and have searched diligently, then see if true the matter is confirmed, such that such an abomination has been done in Israel. Then you shall bring out to your gates that man or woman who has done the evil matter, and you shall stone to death that man or woman with stones. At the mouth of two or three witnesses, shall he that is to die be put to death. He is not put to death by the mouth of one witness. Then the hand of the witness shall be fixed against him to put him to death, and the hand of all the people last. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. When any matter arises which is too hard for you to judge, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, or between stroke and stroke, matters of strife within your gates, then you shall rise and go up to the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses, and you shall come to the Kohanim and the Levites and to the judge who is in those days, and you shall inquire, and they shall declare to you the word of right ruling, and you shall do according to the word which they declare to you from the place which Yahweh you chooses, and you shall guard to do according to all that they instruct you. Do not do according to the Torah in which they teach you, according to the right ruling which they say to you. You do not turn to the right or to the left, or from the word which they declare to you. And the men who act arrogantly, so as not to listen to the Kohen who stands to serve there before Yahweh your Elohim, or to the judge, that man shall die. So you shall purge the evil from Israel, and let all the people hear and fear, and no longer do arrogantly. When you come to the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, and shall possess it, and shall dwell in it, and you shall say, let me appoint a sovereign over me like all the Gentiles that are around me. And you shall certainly appoint a sovereign over you, whom Yahweh your Elohim shall choose. Appoint a sovereign over you from among your brothers. You are not allowed to appoint a foreigner over you, who is not your brother. Only he is not to increase horses for himself, nor cause the people to return to Mitzrayim to increase horses. For Yahweh has said to you, do not return that way again. And he is not to increase wives for himself, let his heart turn away, nor he is to greatly increase silver and gold for himself. And it shall be, when he sits on the throne of his reign, then he shall write for himself a copy of this Torah in a book from the one before Kohanim the Levites, and it shall be with him, and he shall read it all the days of his life, so that he learn to to fear Yahweh his Elohim, and guard all his words of this Torah, of these laws, to do them, so that his heart is not lifted up above his brothers, and so as not to turn aside from the command right or left, that he prolong his days in his reign, and he and his children in the midst of Israel. Deuteronomy chapter number 18. The Kohanim, the Levites, all the tribes of the Levi have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They are to eat the offering of Yahweh made by fire and his inheritance. But among his brothers nor inheritance, Yahweh is his inheritance, and he has spoken to him. And this is the Kohen right from the people, from the people. From those who bring an offering, whether it is bull or sheep, they shall give to the Kohen the shoulder, and the two cheeks, and the stomach, the first fruits of young grain, and your new wine, and your oil, and the first of the fleece of your sheep, and you give to him. For Yahweh your Elohim has chosen him out of all your tribe to stand to serve in the name of Yahweh, him and his sons forever. And when the Levite comes from one of your gates, and from where he has sojourned among all Israel, and shall come with all the desire of being to the place which Yahweh chooses, then he shall serve in the name of Yahweh his Elohim, like all his brothers and the Levites who are standing there before Yahweh. They are to have portions for portion to eat, besides what comes from the sale of his inheritance. When you come into the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, do not lean to do according to the abominations of those Gentiles. Let no one be found among you who make his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices divination, or one who uses of a user of magic, or one who interprets omen, or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spirit, or one who calls up the dead. For whoever does this are an abomination to Yahweh, and because of this abomination, Yahweh Elohim drives them out from before you. Be perfect before Yahweh your Elohim, for these nations whom you are dispossessing listen to those using magic and to diviners. But as for you, Yahweh your Elohim has not appointed such for you. Yahweh your Elohim shall raise up for you a Nabi like me from your midst, from your brothers. Listen to him according to all you asked, and Yahweh your Elohim in Horeb in the days of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, nor let me see this great fire any more, lest I die. And Yahweh said to me, What they have spoken is good. I shall rise up for them a Nabi like you, and of the midst of their brothers, and I shall put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him. And it shall be, the man who does not listen to my words which he speaks in my name, I require it of him. But the Nabi who presumes to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or which speaks in the name of other mighty ones, or even that Nabi shall die. And when you say in your hearts, how do we know that the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When the Nabi speaks in the name of Yahweh, and the word is not, and comes not, that is the word which Yahweh has not spoken. The Nabi has spoken it presumptuously. Do not be afraid of him.
Deuteronomy chapter 19. Deuteronomy chapter 19. When Yahweh your Elohim has cut off the nation whose land Yahweh the Elohim gives you, and you succeed them and dwells in the city and in their houses, you shall separate 3 cities from you in the midst of their land, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to possess it. And you shall prepare thee away and divide the coast of the land which Yahweh Elohim gives you to inherit into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee there. And this is the cost of the slayer which shall flee there, that he may live. Whoso kills his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in time past, and when a man goes into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetches a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slips from the heath and lighted upon his neighbor that he die, he shall flee unto one of those cities and live. Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because of the way is long, and slay him, where he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command you, saying, You shall separate 3 cities for you. And if Yahweh your Elohim enlarge your coast, he has sworn unto your father to give you all the land which is promised to give unto your fathers. If you shall keep all these commandments to do them, which I command you this day, to love Yahweh your Elohim and to walk ever in his way, then you shall add 3 cities more for you beside these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you for an inheritance, so that the blood be upon you. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and flee into one of these cities, then the elders of the city shall send and fetch him thrice, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of the blood, that he might die. Your eye shall not pity him, but you shall put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that he may go well with you. You shall not remove your neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in the inheritance, which you shall inherit in the land that Yahweh your Elohim gives you to possess it. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin. If any sin that he sees at the mouth of 2 witnesses or mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahweh, before the priest and the judge, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then you shall do unto him as he thought to have done unto his brother. So shall you put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And your eye shall pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Deuteronomy chapter 20. When you go out to the battle against your enemies, and set horses and chariot and a people more than you, be not afraid of them, for Yahweh your Elohim is with you, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when you come near unto the battle, that the priests shall approach and speak unto the people, and say unto you, Hear, O Israel, you approach this day unto the battle against your enemy. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be terrified because of them. For Yahweh your Elohim is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemy, to save you. And the officer shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto the house, lest he die in the battle, and another man takes her. And the officer shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and fainted? Let him go and return into his house, lest his brethren heart faint as well as his heart. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of the speaking unto the people, that they shall make captain of the armies to lead the people. And when you come near unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it makes an answer of peace and open unto you, then it shall be that all the people that are found therein shall be tributed unto you, and they shall serve you. And if it will make no peace with you, but will make war against you, you shall besiege it. And when Yahweh your Elohim hath delivered it into your hands, you shall smite every male, therefore, with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoils, therefore, you shall take unto thyself, and you shall eat the spoils of the enemies, which Yahweh your Elohim hath given. You shall do unto all cities which are very far off from you, which are not of the cities of this nation, but of the city of this people which Yahweh your Elohim doth give you for an inheritance, you shall save alive nothing that breathes, but you shall utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, as Yahweh Elohim hath commanded you, that they teach you to not go after the abomination which they have done unto their mighty ones. So should you sin against Yahweh your Elohim. When you shall besiege a city a long time, in making war against it to take it, you shall not destroy the trees therefore by forcing an axe against them, for you may eat of them, and you shall not count down, for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Only the tree which you know that it may be not trees for meat, you shall destroy and cut them down. You shall build bulwarks against the city that makes war with you, until it be subdued. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21. If one be found slain in the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who had slain him, Then the elders and the judge shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the city which are around about him that is slain. And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city, shall take an heifer which hath not been fraught with, and which hath not drawn the yoke. And the elders of the city shall bring it down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sworn, and shall strike off the heifer neck there in the valley. And the priest, the son of the Levi, shall come near for them. Yahweh your Elohim has chosen to minister unto him and to bless in the name of Yahweh. And by their words shall every controversy and every stroke be tried. And all the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. And they shall answer and say, Our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Be merciful, O Yahweh, unto thy people Israel, who hast redeemed and laid not innocent blood unto thy people of Israel. Charge them, and the blood shall be forgiven them. So shall you put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when you shall do that which is right in the sight of Yahweh. When you go forth to war against your enemies, and Yahweh your Elohim hath delivered them into your hands, and you have taken them captivity, and see among the captivity a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, and you wouldn't have her to your wife, then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall be put the raiment of the captivity from off her, and shall remain in the house and bewail her father and mother a full month. And after you shall go in unto her and be the husband, and she shall be your wife. And it shall be, if you have no delight in her, then you shall let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. You shall not make merchandise of her, because you has humbled her. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he makes his son to inherit that which is hers, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated of the firstborn by giving him double portion of all that he hath, for he is the beginning of strength, the right of the firstborn is his. If a man hath a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of the father or the voice of the mother, and that they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out of the cities, elders of the city, and unto the gates of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, This is our son, is stubborn and rebellious, he will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stone, that he might die. So shall you put away evil away from among you, and all the children of Israel shall hear and fear. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be to be put to death, and you hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but you shall in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hung is accused of Elohim, accursed of Elohim, and thy land be not defiled, which Yahweh the Elohim giveth you for an inheritance. You shall not see your brother's ox. You shall not see your brother's ox or sheep go astray and hid themselves from them. You shall in any case bring them again unto your brother. And if your brother be not near unto you, if you know him not, then you shall bring it unto your own house, and it shall be with you until thy brother seek after it. You shall restore it to him again. In like manner shall you do with his donkey, so shall you do with his raiment, and with all lost thing of thy brothers which he hath lost, and you have found, shall you do likewise. You may not hide yourself. You shall not see the brother's donkey or ox fall down by the way, and hid thyself from. You shall surely help him to lift them up again. The woman shall not wear that which is pertained to a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that you do, sore abomination unto Yahweh your Elohim. If a bird's nest chance to be before you in the way, in any tree or on the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, you shall not take the dam with the young, but you shall in any wise let the dam go, and take the young to you, that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days. When you build a new house, then you shall make a battlement for your roof, that you bring not blood upon your house, if any man fall from thence. You shall not sow thy vineyard with diverse seed, lest the fruit of thy seed which you have sown, and the fruit of the vineyard be defiled. You shall not plow with an ox and a donkey together. You shall not wear a garment of diverse sort, as of the woolen and the inner linen together. You shall make 3 fringes upon the 4 quarters of the fences where you covers. And if any man take a wife and go into her and hate her, and give her occasion of speech against her, and bring her an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid, then shall the father of the damsel and the mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto a man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he hath given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet they are the tokens of my daughter virginity. And they shall spread their clothes before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chasten him. And they shall amaze him in 100 shekel of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he has brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, and he shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. But if this thing be true, and the token of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her with stone that she hid, because she has warred fully in Israel, to pray the whore in her father's house. So shall you put evil away from among you. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, and then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shall you put away evil from Israel. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man finds her in the city and lie with her, then you shall bring them both out of the gate of the city, and you shall stone them with stone, that they die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel you shall do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worth of death. For as when a man rides against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the besold damsel cried, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. Because he hath humbled her, he may not be put away all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. Deuteronomy chapter 23. He that is wounded in the stone, or hath his privity member cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh. A mongrel shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of Yahweh. An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of Yahweh forever. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way which you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against you Balaam the son of Bereah of Pedor of Mesopotamia to curse you. Nevertheless, Yahweh your Elohim will not hearken unto Balaam, but Yahweh your Elohim turned the curse into a blessing unto you, because Yahweh Elohim loved you. You shall not seek their peace nor their prosperity all the days of forever. You shall not abhor an Edomite, for he is your brother, and you shall not abhor an Egyptian, because he wasn't a stranger in his land. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of Yahweh in their 3rd generation. When the host goes forth against their enemies, then keep you from every wicked thing. If you be among you any man that is not clean by the reason of uncleanness that chances him by night, then he may go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come within the camp. But it shall be, when the evening come, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again. You shall have a place also. Withhold the camp, there you shall go forth abroad. And you shall have a paddle upon the weapon, and it shall be, when you will ease thyself abroad, you shall dig therefore therewith, and shall turn back and cover for which comes from you. For Yahweh your Elohim walks in the midst of your camp, to deliver you and to give up your enemies before you. Therefore you shall thy camp be holy, that he sees no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from you. You shall not deliver unto his master the servant which is a speck for his which is escaped from his master unto you. He shall dwell with you, even among you, in that place which he choose, in one of your gates, where it like him best. You shall not oppress him. There shall be no hoe of the daughter of Israel, nor a sodomite of the son of Israel. You shall not bring the hire of a hoe or the price of a dog into the house of Yahweh your Elohim, for any vow, for even both these are abomination unto Yahweh your Elohim. You shall not lay upon usury of thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is laid upon usury. Unto a stranger you may lay upon usury, but unto your brother you shall not lay upon usury, that Yahweh Elohim may bless you in all that you set thy hand to in the land, whether you go to possess it. Whether you shall vow a vow unto Yahweh your Elohim, you shall not slack to pay it, for Yahweh your Elohim will surely require it of thee, and it will be a sin in you. But you shall forbear a vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of your lips you shall keep and perform, even a free will offering according to you have vowed unto Yahweh your Elohim, which you have promised with thy mouth. When you come into the neighbor's vineyard, then you may eat grapes, they fill at thy own pleasure, but you shall not put any in thy vessel. When you come into the standing corn of their neighbor, then you may pluck the ears with thine hand, but you shall not move a sickle unto the neighbor's standing corn. Deuteronomy chapter 24. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in her eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it to her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and give it to her hand, and send her out of the house of it, the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband which sent her away may not take her again to be his wife after that she defiled, for that is abomination before Yahweh. And you shall not cause the land to sin, which Yahweh Elohim giveth you for an inheritance. When a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and he shall cheer up his wife which he hath taken. No man shall take the nether nor upper milestone to pledge, for he takes a man's life to pledge. If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and makes merchandise of him or selleth him, then the thief shall die, and you shall put evil away from among you. Take heed in the plague of leprosy, that you observe diligently to do according to all that the priest of the Levites shall teach you, as I commanded them, so you shall observe to do. Remember what Yahweh your Elohim did unto Miriam by the way, after they were come forth out of Egypt. When you doth lend thy neighbor, thy brother anything, you shall not go into his house to fetch his pledge. You shall stand abroad, and the man of whom thou dost lend shall bring out the pledge abroad unto you. And if any man be poor, you shall not sleep with his pledge. In any case, you shall deliver the pledge again when the sun goeth down, that he may sleep in his own raiment, and bless you, and he shall be righteousness unto you before Yahweh your Elohim. You shall not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of the brethren or of the stranger that are in your hands within your gate. And his days you shall give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor and sees the heart upon it, lest he cry out against Yahweh, against you unto Yahweh, and be sin unto you. The father shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. You shall not prevent the judgment of the stranger, nor of the fatherless, nor of the widow's raiment to pledge. But you shall remember that you was a bondage in Egypt, and Yahweh Elohim redeemed you. Hence, therefore, I command you to do this thing. When you cast down your harvest in their field, and has forgotten a sheaf in the field, you shall not go again to fetch it. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widows, that Yahweh your Elohim may bless you in the works of your hands. When you beat the olive tree, you shall not go over the bogs again. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widows. When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, you shall not glean it afterward. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. You shall remember that you wasn't You shall remember that you were a bondman in the land of Egypt. Therefore, I command you to do this thing. Deuteronomy chapter 25. If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judge may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. And it shall be, if the wicked man be worthy of the beaten, then that the judge shall cause him to lie down, and to be beaten before his face according to his fault by a certain number. 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed, lest he should exceed the beat him above this with many stripes. Then thy brother should seem vile unto thee. You shall not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out of the corn. If thy brethren dwell together, and one of them died, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. As a husband brother shall go in to her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she bears shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if any man like not to take his brother's wife, then let him brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband brother refuses to raise up unto his brothers a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of the city shall call him and speak unto him, if any, and if he stand to eat and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoes from off his foot, and spit in the face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto the man that will not put up his brother's house. And his name shall be cut in Israel, the house of him that hath shoe loosed. When men strive together one with another, and the wife of the one draweth near for to deliver her husband out of the hand of him that smited him, and put forth her hands, and taken him by the secrets, then you shall cut off her hand, thy eyes shall not pity her. You shall not have in thy bag divers weight, a great and small. You shall not have in thy house divers measures, a great and small. But you shall have a perfect and just weight, a perfect and just measure shall you have, that your days may lengthen in the days which Yahweh Elohim gives you. For all that do such things, and all that do unrighteously, are the abomination unto Yahweh Elohim. Remember what Amalek did unto you by the way, when you come forth out of Egypt. How he met you by the way, and smote the hidmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wasn't faint and weary, and he feared not Elohim. Therefore it shall be, when Yahweh your Elohim hath given you rest from all your enemies round about in the land where Yahweh your Elohim gives you for an inheritance to possess it, that you shall blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. You shall not forget it. Deuteronomy chapter 26. And it shall be, when thou art come into the land which Yahweh Elohim gives you for an inheritance, and possess it, and dwell therein, that you shall take of the first of all fruit of the earth, which shall bring into the land that Yahweh your Elohim gives you, and shall put it in a basket, and you shall go unto the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to place his name there. And you shall go unto the priest, and shall be in those days, and say unto him, I profess this day unto Yahweh Elohim, that I am come unto the country which Yahweh sware unto their fathers for to give us. And the priest shall take the basket out of their hand, and set it down before the altar of Yahweh Elohim. And you shall speak and say before Yahweh their Elohim, a Syrian ready to perish was my father, and he went down into Egypt, and sojourned there with a few, and became there a nation great, mighty, and populous. And the Egyptian evil entreated us, and afflicted us, and laid upon us hard bondage. And when we cried unto Yahweh Elohim of our fathers, Yahweh heard our voice, and looked on our affliction, and our labor, and our oppression. And Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand, and with our stretched arm, and with great trembles, and with signs, and with wonders. And he hath brought us into this place, and he has given us this land, even a land that flows with milk and honey. And now behold, I have brought the first fruit of the land, which you, O Yahweh, has given me, and you shall set it before Yahweh your Elohim, and worship before Yahweh your Elohim. And you shall rejoice in every good thing which Yahweh your Elohim has given unto you and unto thy house, you and the Levites and the stranger that is among you, when you have made it at the end of the tithing, all the tithes of the increase, and the seed ear, which is the ear of tithing, and has given it unto the Levites, the stranger, the fatherless, the widows, that they may eat within the gates and be filled. Then you shall say before Yahweh your Elohim, I have brought away the hallowed things out of my house, and also have given them unto the Levites, and unto the stranger of the fatherless, and to the widows, according to all the commandments which you have commanded me. I have not transgressed your commandment, neither have I forgotten them. I have not entered thereof in my mourning, neither have I taken away aught therefore of any unclean use, nor given aught therefore for the dead. But I have hearkened to your voice of Yahweh your Elohim, and have done according to all that you have commanded me. Look down from your holy habitation from heaven, and bless your people Israel and the land which you have given us as you swear unto our fathers, a land that flows with milk and honey. This day Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you to do these statutes and judgment, and you shall keep and do them with all thy heart and with all thy soul. You have avowed Yahweh to this day to be your Elohim, and to walk in his way, and to keep his statute and his commandment and his judgment, and to hearken unto his voice. And Yahweh hath avouched you this day to be his peculiar people, and has promised you that you should keep all his commandments, and to make thee high above all nations which has made in praise and in his name, and in honor, that you may be an holy people unto Yahweh your Elohim. He hath spoken. Deuteronomy chapter 27. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I have commanded you this day. And it shall be on the day when you shall pass over Jordan unto the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you, you shall set thee up great stones, and plasters them with plaster. And you shall write upon all the words of this law, which you art passed over, and you may go into the land which Yahweh Elohim gives you, a land that flows with milk and honey, as Yahweh Elohim of their father have promised you. Therefore it shall be, when you be gone over Jordan, that you shall set up this stone, which I commanded you to this day, in Mount Elbab, and you shall plaster them with plaster. And there shall you build an altar unto Yahweh your Elohim, an altar of stone, and you shall not lift up any iron tool upon them. You shall build the altar of Yahweh your Elohim of whole stone, and you shall offer burnt offering therefore unto Yahweh your Elohim. And you shall offer the peace offering, and you shall eat there, and rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim. And you shall write upon the stone all the words of this law very plainly. And Moshe and the priest and the Levites spoke unto all the children, saying, take heed and hearken, O Israel, to this day. You art become the people of Yahweh your Elohim. You shall therefore obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, and do his commandment and his statute, which I command you this day. And Moses charged the people the same day, saying, these shall stand upon Mount Gerizim to bless the people when you are come over Jordan, Simeon and Levi and Judah and Issachar and Joseph and Benjamin. And they shall stand upon Mount Ebal to curse Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. And the Levites shall speak and say unto all men of Israel with a loud voice, cursed be the man that makes any graven or molten image, an abomination unto Yahweh, the works of the hands of the craftsman, and put it in a secret place. And all the people shall answer and say, Amen. Cursed be he that sets light by his father or his mother. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that remove his neighbor's landmark. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that makes the blind to wander out of the way. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that prevents the judgment of the stranger, fatherless, widow, and any widow. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that lied with his father's wife, because he uncovered his father's skirt. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that lieth with any manner of beast. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that lieth with the sister and daughter of his father or daughter of his mother. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that lieth with his mother-in-law. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that sins his neighbor, cursed be he that smites his neighbor secretly. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that takes the reward to slay an innocent person. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that confirms not the words of this law to do them. And all the people shall say, Amen. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. And it shall come to pass, if you shall hear diligently the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments which I have commanded you this day, that Yahweh your Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come to thee and overtake you, and you shall hearken unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall you be the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle shall increase of thy kind, and the flocks of the sheep. Blessed shall be your basket and the store. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. Yahweh shall cause your enemies to rise up against you and be smitten before your face. They shall come out against you in one way and shall flee before you 7 ways. Yahweh shall command the blessing upon you in their storehold, and in all you set thy hand unto. And they shall bless you in the hand which Yahweh your Elohim gives you. Yahweh shall establish you a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto you, if you shall keep the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim and walk in his way. And all the people of the earth shall see, and you art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of you. And Yahweh shall make you plenteous, and in good, and in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy ground, in the land which Yahweh swears unto your fathers to give you. Yahweh shall open unto you his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto their land in the season, to bless all the works of their hand. And you shall lend unto many nations, and you shall not borrow. And Yahweh shall make you the head and not the tail, and you shall be above only. Hallelujah. And you shall be beneath, if that you hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you this day to observe and to do them. And you shall not go aside from any of the words which I command you this day, to the right or to the left, and to go after other mighty ones and to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if you will not hear unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe to do all these commandments and the statutes which I command you this day, that all these curses shall be upon you and overtake you. Curse shall be you in the city, and curse shall be you in the field. Curse shall be the basket of your store. Curse be the fruit of thy body, the fruit of thy land, and increase of thy kind, and the flock of the sheep. Curse shall be you when you come in, and curse shall be when you go out. And Yahweh shall send upon you cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that you set thy hand unto do, until you be destroyed, and until you perish quickly, because of your wickedness of your doing, whereby you have forsaken me. Yahweh shall make the pestifile clean unto you, until he has consumed you from afar off the land, whether you go to possess it. Yahweh shall smite you with a consumption, and with fever, and with inflammation, and with extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and shall pursue you until you perish. And your heaven that is over your head shall be brass, and the earth that is under you shall be iron. Yahweh shall make the rain of your land powder, and dust from heaven shall it come down upon you, until you shall be destroyed. Yahweh shall cause you to be smitten before your enemies, and you shall go out one way against, and flee 7 ways before them, and you shall be removed into all the kingdom of the earth. And all the carcass shall be meat unto the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall carry them away. Yahweh will smite you with a botch of Egypt, and with the emeralds, with the scab, and with the itch, therefore you cast not be healed. Yahweh shall smite you with madness and blindness, and a stoning of heart, and you shall grope at noonday, as the blind gropes in darkness. You shall not prosper in your ways, and you shall be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. No man shall save you. You shall betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. You shall build an house, and you shall not dwell therein. You shall plant a vineyard, and you shall not gather the grapes therefore. Thy ox shall be slain before their eyes, and you shall not eat thereof. Thy donkey shall be violently taken away from before your face, and shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given unto your enemies, and you shall have none to rescue them. Your son and your daughter shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing them all day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. For the fruit of thy land and all thy laborers shall a nation which knows not it up, and you shall be only oppressed and crushed away, so that you shall be mad for the sight of thy eyes which you shall see. Yahweh shall smite you in the knees and in the legs with a sore bunch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot up to the top of thy head. Yahweh shall bring you and your king, and you shall set over you unto nation which neither you nor your father have known. And there shall you serve other mighty ones, wood and stone. And you shall become an astonishing, a proverb, and a word among the all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead you. You shall carry much seed out of the field, and you shall gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. You shall plant vineyards and dress them, but shall neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. You shall have olive trees throughout all the coast, but you shall not anoint yourself with oil, for thy olive shall cast his fruit. You shall beget sons and daughters, but you shall not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. All your trees and fruit of the land shall the locust consume. The strangers that is within you shall get up above very high, and you shall come down very low. He shall lead to thee, and you shall not lead to him. He shall be your head, and you shall be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall be upon you, and shall pursue you and overtake you, till you be destroyed, because you hearken not unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to keep his commandment and his statute which is commanded you. And they shall be upon you for a sign and a wonder, and upon your seed forever, because you serve not Yahweh your Elohim with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, and the abundance of all things. Therefore you shall serve your enemies, which Yahweh shall send against you in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want for all things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until he have destroyed you. Yahweh bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth as swift as the eagle fleeth, a nation whose tongue you shall not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard any person of the old, nor shew favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of the cattle and the fruit of the land, until you be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil of the increase of the kine or flock of the sheep, until he have destroyed you. And he shall besiege you in all your gates, until your high and first wall come down, wherein you trusted throughout all the land. And he shall besiege you in all your gates throughout all your land, which Yahweh your Elohim hath given you. And you shall eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your own son and your daughter, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you in the siege, in the straitness, wherewith your enemy shall distress you. So that man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward his wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall flee. So that he will not give to any of them flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thy enemies shall distress you in all their gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, which will not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards her husband of the bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that comes out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want, for all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith the enemy shall distress you in your gates. If you will not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in the book, that you may fear the glorious and fearful name of Yahweh your Elohim, then Yahweh will make the plagues wonderful, and the plagues of your seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and so sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon you all the diseases of Egypt, which you was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto you. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will Yahweh bring upon you until you will be destroyed. And you shall be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because you would not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and multiply you, O Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to nothing. And you shall be plucked from off the land where you go to possess. And Yahweh shall scatter you among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And you shall serve other mighty ones, which neither you nor your fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among this nation you shall find no ease, neither shall your soul of your feet have rest, but Yahweh shall give you a trembling heart and a failing of the eyes and sorrow of mind. And your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fear day and night, and you shall have none assurance of thy life. In the morning you shall say, if only it were even, and at even you shall say, it only if it were morning. For the fear of the heart wherewith you shall fear, and for the sight of the eyes you shall see. And Yahweh shall bring you into Egypt again with ships, and Yahweh shall bring you into Egypt again with ships, and by the way whereof I spake unto you, you shall see it no more. Again there shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondswomen, and no man shall buy you. Deuteronomy chapter 29. These are the words of the covenant which Yahweh commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moses called unto the Israel and said unto them, you have seen all that Yahweh did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land, the great temptation which your eyes have seen, and sign, and those great miracles. Yet Yahweh have not given you the heart to perceive, the eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxen old upon you, and your shoes is not waxen old upon your feet. You have not eaten bread, neither have you drunk wine or strong drink, that you might know that you have not eaten bread, neither have you drunk wine or strong drink, that you may know that I am Yahweh your Elohim. And when you came unto this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon and Og the king of Bashan came out against us unto battle, and we smote them. And we took their land and gave it for an inheritance unto the Reubenites and the Gadites, and half of the tribe of Manasseh. Keep therefore the words of this covenant, and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. You stand this day, all of you, before Yahweh your Elohim, your captains of your tribes, your elders and your officers, with all the men of Israel. Your little ones, your wives, and your stranger that is in your camp, from the heaver of the wood unto the drawer of the water, that you shouldn't enter into the covenant with Yahweh your Elohim, and into an oath which Yahweh your Elohim makes with you today, that he may establish you today for a people unto himself, that he may be unto you an Elohim, as he has said unto you, and as he hath sworn unto the fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that stand here with us this day before Yahweh our Elohim, and also him that is not here with us today. For we know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nation that we passed by. And you have seen their abomination and their idol wood, stone, silver, and gold which were among them. Lest there should be any among you man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turneth away this day from Yahweh our Elohim to go and serve the mighty ones of this nation, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. And it came to pass, when he hears the words of this curse, and he blessed himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace through I walk in the imagination of my heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. Yahweh will not spare him, but then the anger of Yahweh and his jealousy shall smote against that man, and all the curses that are written in the book shall lie upon him. And Yahweh shall blot out his name from under the heaven. And Yahweh shall separate him unto the evils of the tribes of Israel, according to the curses of the covenant that is written in the book of law, so that the generation to come of your children shall rise up after you, and the stranger shall come from a far land, shall say, when they see your plagues of that land, what means the heat of great anger? Then men shall say, because you have forgotten and forsaken the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim of their fathers, which he had made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other mighty ones, and worshipped other mighty ones, whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that is written in his book. And Yahweh rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in Gishon, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. The secret things belong unto Yahweh our Elohim, but those which are revealed belong to us and our children forever, that we may do the words of this law. Deuteronomy chapter 30. And it came to pass, when all these things are come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you shall call them to mind among all the nations which Yahweh your Elohim has driven you. And you shall return unto Yahweh your Elohim, and shall obey his voice according to all that I have commanded you this day, and you and your children with all thy hand and with all thy soul. Then Yahweh your Elohim will turn your captivity and have compassion upon you, and will return and gather you from all the nations which Yahweh your Elohim hath scattered you. If any of thine of yours be driven out unto the utmost part of the heaven, from hence will Yahweh Elohim gather you, and from hence will he fetch you. And Yahweh your Elohim will bring you into the land which your father possessed, and you shall possess it. And he will do you good and multiply you above your fathers. And Yahweh your Elohim will circumcise your heart and your heart of your seed, to love Yahweh your Elohim with all thy heart and with all thy soul, and with that you may live. And Yahweh your Elohim will put all these curses upon your enemies, and on them that hate you, with which persecute you. And you shall return and obey the voice of Yahweh, and do all his commandments which I command you this day. And Yahweh your Elohim will make you plenteous in every work of your hand, in fruit of your body, and in the fruit of the cattle, and the fruit of your land, for good. For Yahweh will again rejoice over you, for good, as he rejoiced over the father. You shall hearken unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to keep his commandment and his statutes, which are written in the book of the law. And if you turn unto Yahweh your Elohim with all thy heart and with all your soul, for this commandment which I command you this day, it is not hidden from you, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, that you should say, where should I go up for us to heaven, and bring it unto me, that we may hear it and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea, that you shouldn't say, who shall I go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. But the word is very near unto you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. See, I have set before you this day life and good, and death and evil. In that commanded you this day to love Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in his way, to keep his commandment, his statute, and his judgment, that you may live and multiply, and Yahweh Elohim shall bless you in the land, whether you shall go to possess it. But if your heart turn away, you shall, so that you will not hear, but you shall drawn away and worship other mighty ones and serve them, I denounce unto you this day, that you shall surely perish, and that you shall not prolong your days upon the land, whether you passes it over Jordan to go and possess it. And I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curses. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live, that you may love Yahweh your Elohim, and that you may obey his voice, and that you may cleave unto him, for he is your life and the length of your days, that you may know to dwell in the land which Yahweh sware unto your fathers, to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob, to give them. Deuteronomy chapter 31. And Moses went and spoke these words unto the Israelites, and he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. Also Yahweh has said unto me, you shall not go over this Jordan. Yahweh your Elohim, he will go over before you, and he will destroy this nation before you, and you shall possess them, and Joshua he shall, and unto the land of them whom he destroyed. And Yahweh shall give them up before their face, that they do unto them according all the commandment which I have commanded you. Be strong and of good cheer, fear not, nor be afraid of them. For Yahweh your Elohim, it is he that hath gone with you. He will not fail you, nor forsake you. And Moses called unto Joshua and said unto him in the sight of all Israel, be strong and of good courage, for you must go with the people unto the land which Yahweh hath sworn unto their fathers to give them, that you shall cause them to inherit. And Yahweh, he it is that doth go before you. He will be with you, he will not fail you, neither forsake you. Fear not, neither be dismayed. And Moses wrote this law and delivered it to the priest, the son of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and unto the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the feast of tabernacle, when all the children, when all Israelites come to appear before Yahweh your Elohim, that place which he shall choose, you shall read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children and the stranger that is within their gate, that they may hear, that they may learn and fear Yahweh your Elohim, to observe to do all the word of this law. And their children which have not known anything may hear and learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim, as long as you live in the land, whether you go over Jordan to possess it. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, behold, your days approach, that you may die. Call Joshua and present yourself to the tabernacle of the congregation. I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And Yahweh appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and a pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, behold, you shall sleep with your fathers, and these people will run with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not this evil come upon us, because Elohim is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall brought in, that they have turned unto other mighty ones. Now therefore write you this song for you, and teach it in the children of Israel. Put it in their mouth, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, for they shall have eaten and have filled themselves and waxed fat, then they will turn unto other mighty ones, and serve them, and provoke me, and break my covenant. It shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befalling them, that this song shall be a testimony against them as a witness. For it shall not be forgotten out of their mouths of their seed, for I have known their imagination which they go about even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day, and taught it the children of Israel. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, be strong and of good courage, for you shall bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them. I will be with you. And it came to pass, when Moses had made end of the writing the words of the law in a book, until they were finished. And Moses commanded the Levites which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, that it may be there for a witness against you. For I know your rebellion and your stiff-necked. Behold, I am yet alive with you this day. You have been rebellious against Yahweh, and how much more after my death? Gather unto me all the elders of the tribe of the officers, and that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death you will utterly corrupt yourself, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because you will do evil in the sight of Yahweh, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And Moshe spake in the ears of the congregation of Israel the words of this song, until they were ended. Deuteronomy chapter 32. Give ear, O heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, and my beseech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herbs, as the shower upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of Yahweh, ascribe ye greatness unto our Elohim. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment, and hell of truth, and without iniquity. Just and right is he. They have corrupted themselves, their sport is not the sport of the children, they are preserved and crooked generation. Do you thus requite Yahweh, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought you? Hath he not made you and established you? Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask your fathers, and he will show you the elders, and they will tell you. When the Most High divided the nation and their nation, he separated the son of Adam. He set the bonds of the people according to the numbers of the children of Israel. And Yahweh's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land and in the waste hoeing wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him. He kept him as the apple of the eye, as an eagle stirred up her nest, fluttered over her young, spread abroad her wings, and take them, breathe them on her wings. So Yahweh alone did lead him, and there was no strange ale with him. He made him ride on high places and on earth, that he may eat and increase of the field, that he made him brook to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the fleetly oak, butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with fat of lamb, and rams of breed of Bashan, and goats with fat of kidney of wheat. And you did drink the pure blood of the grapes. And you did drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked, and you art flaxen fat, you art grown thick, you are covered with fatness. Then he forsook Eloah, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. You provoked him to jealousy with strange mighty ones, which abomination provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devil, not to Elohim, to mighty ones whom they knew not, nor to new mighty ones that came newly up, whom your father feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, you are unmindful, and has forgotten all that formed you. When Yahweh saw it, he abhorred them, and because of the provoking of his son and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a forward generation, children in whom is of no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not hell. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those that are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled, is mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest pit, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundation of the mountains. I will heap mischief upon them. I will spend my arrows upon them. They shall be burned with anger, and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction I will send the teeth of beast upon them, and with poison of serpent of the dust. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin. They are suckling also with the man of gray hairs. I said, I will scatter them into the corners, and I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Were it not that I fear the wrath of the enemy, lest the adversary should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, our hand is high, and Yahweh hath done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that they are wise, that they understand this, that they will consider their latter end. How should one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to fight? Expect their rock, and sold them, and Yahweh has shut them up. For their rocks is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and their field of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, their clatters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragon, and their queer venom of asp. Is not this laid up in store with them, and sealed up among my treasures? To me belong vengeance and recompenses. Their food shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the thing that shall come upon them make haste. For Yahweh shall judge his people and repent himself for his servant, with he sees that their power is gone, and there is none shut up forever. And he shall say, where are their mighty ones, their rocks in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifice, and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let him raise up and help you, and be your protection. See, now that I, even I, am he, and there is no mighty one with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword, and my hand took hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies, and will reward them that hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with all the blood of the slain and of the captivities, from the beginning of revenges and upon the enemy. Rejoice, O you nation, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servant, and will render vengeance to his adversary, and will be merciful unto his land and unto his people. And Moses came and spoke all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea the son of Nun. And Moses made the end of the speaking of all these words to Israel, and he said unto them, set your hearts unto the words which I testify among you this day, which you shall command your children to observe to do, all the words of this law. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life, and through this thing you shall prolong the days in their land which you go over Jordan to possess it. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe that self-same day, saying, Get you up into the mountain of Abarim, unto the Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho, and behold, the land of Canaan, which I will give unto the children of Israel for a possession. And die in the mount whither you go up, and be gathered unto the people, as Aaron your brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people. Because you trespass against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because you sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. You shall see the land before you, but you shall not go there unto the land which I give the children of Israel. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses and the man of Elohim blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, Yahweh came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them, and he shined forth from the mount of Param, and he came with 10,000 of saints from his right hand, went a fiery low for them. Yeah, he loved the people, all his saints are in your hand, and they sat down at their feet, everyone shall receive of their words. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he was king in Jeshurun, with the heads of the people, and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear Yahweh the voice of Judah, and bring him unto the people, and let his hand be sufficient for him, and be you an help to him for his enemies. And of Levi he said, Let your Thummim and your Urim be with your Holy One, whom you did prove at Massa, and with whom you did strive at the waters of Meribah, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his children, for they have observed your word and kept your covenant. They shall teach Jacob your judgment, and Israel your law, and they shall put increase before you, and whole burnt sacrifice upon your altar. Bless Yahweh his substance, and accept the work of his hand. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. And of Benjamin he said, The beloved of Yahweh shall dwell in safety by him, and Yahweh shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between the shoulders. And of Joseph he said, Blessed of Yahweh be the land of his precious things of heaven, for the dew and for the deep that couched beneath, and for the precious fruit brought forth by the sun, and for the precious thing put forth by the moon, and for the chief thing of the ancient mountains, and for the precious thing that lasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth, and fullness therefore, and for the goodwill of him that dwells in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. His glory is like the firstlings of his bullock, and his son are like the horns of the unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth, and they are 10,000 of Ephraim, they are thousands of Manasseh. And Zebulun he said, Rejoice Zebulun in your going out, and Issachar in your tents. They shall call the people unto the mountain. They shall offer sacrifice unto righteousness. They shall suck of the abundance of the sea, of treasure hid in sand. And of God he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth God. He dwells as a lion. He teareth the arm with the crown of the head. And he provided the first part for himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver which he seated, and he came with his head, and of the people he executed the justice of Yahweh and his judgment with Israel. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, he shall leap from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor and full with the blessing of Yahweh possesses you the west and the south. And of Asher he said, Let Asher be blessed with the children, let him be acceptable of his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Your shoes shall be iron, and your brass, and as your days so shall you strengthen be. There is none like unto the Elleh of Jeshurun, who rides upon the heaven in your help and in his excellency on the sky. The eternal Elohim is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms, and he shall thrust out the enemies from above you, and shall say, destroy them. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon the land of corn and wine. Also his heaven shall drop down dew. Happy art you, O Israel, who is like unto you, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of your help, and who is the sword of your excellency, and your enemies shall be found liars unto you, and you shall tread upon high places. The last chapter of the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 34. And Moshe went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, that is over Jericho. And Yahweh showed him all the land of Gilead and unto Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah, and the outermost of the sea, and the south of the plain of the valley of Jericho, and the city of the palm trees, and unto Zoar. And Yahweh said unto him, This is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed, and I'll cause you to see it with your eyes, but you shall not go over there. So Moses, the servant of Yahweh, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of Yahweh, and he buried him in the valley of the land of Moab, over against Beth Peruah, but no man knows of his sepulchre unto this day. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes was not dim, nor his natural force abated. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the place of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning of Moses were ended. And Joshua the son of Nun was full of spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hand upon him, and the children of Israel hardened unto him, and did as Yahweh commanded Moses. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom Yahweh knew face to face, in all the signs and all the wonders which Yahweh sent him to do in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh, and to all his servants, and to all his land, and in all the mighty hand, and in all the great terror which Moses showed in the sight of Israel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We praise Yahweh. We have been able to do the first 5 books of the scriptures on our journey through scriptures. We praise Yahweh for the favor. We praise Yahweh for being with us, for giving us strength. And we have been able to complete the whole of Torah by the will, by the hand of Yahweh. And we have been able to see miracles.